Good day to everyone. So today, we will be discussing about adding and subtracting similar fractions with whole number. Actually, I already have a video in terms of adding and subtracting similar fractions. It's just that I made a separate videos for with whole number and without, because there is a little bit tricky part for the subtraction of similar fractions. So the rules will still be the same. You have to copy the denominator, just write the numerator along with the operations, perform the indicated operations, and then simplify if possible. For us to understand that further, let's have an example. So let's try this one, 2 and 1/3 plus 2 and 1/3. Okay, so the usual thing that we do in terms of solving this kind of fraction is that we simply add them right away. Since I have said earlier that we have a tricky part in terms of subtractions, so we will have a one-way process in terms of solving. The one-way process I'm referring is that we will solve everything in this video in vertical form so that we will avoid confusion. So we'll arrange this one to vertical form. So we have 2 and 1/3 plus 2 and 1/3 is equal to. So the same thing as adding of similar fractions without whole number. So we will just copy the denominator, which is 3, and then add the numerator. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and we have 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. My question is, can you simplify this, or can we simplify this one? No, because this is already the simplest form. So in other words, 2 and 1/3 plus 2 and 1/3 is equal to 4 and 2/3. Good. So let's have this one. So 3/5/10 plus 3/10. So the same thing, we will arrange this one to vertical form. So we have 3 and 5/10 plus 3/10. So as you notice, they are still aligned, and since we don't have a whole number for the 3/10, so we'll just leave it here blank. So proceed now. So since they are similar fractions, so we will just copy the denominator. So we have 10. And for the numerator, we have 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. And then we can bring down this one. So there you have it. Are we now done? No, because we can still simplify 8 and 10. So what will be the GCF? Yes, that is 2. So we will now divide this one by 2. So 2 is equal to, so we will just copy the whole number. So we have 3, and then the fraction. So 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4, and then 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So therefore, 3 and 5/10 plus 3/10 is equal to 3 and 4/5. There. Okay, for the addition, it is really very easy. So let's move on now with the tricky part, or the subtraction. So what if we have 3 and 2/5 minus 1 and 3/5? Okay, so we will arrange this one vertically. So we have 3 and 2/5 minus 1 and 3/5. Okay, so in subtraction, the minuend should always be bigger compared to subtrahend. But can you guess where is the minuend? Okay, the minuend is this part. This is what you call the minuend, and the subtrahend is this one, the Again, minuend should be bigger compared to subtrahend. So, since this part here, the subtrahend is bigger to the minuend. So, in other words, we cannot just proceed with the subtraction. So, we have to do something about it. So, the usual thing that we do in terms of subtraction is that we always do the borrowing. So in this part now, or in this case, 2 will going to borrow from 3. So that makes 3 now as 2. And then instead of writing 1 beside the number 2, since it is not applicable or it cannot be applied with the fraction, so we will not just write 1 here. But instead, we will check our denominator. Because what is the number of the denominator should be the same in terms of the borrowing. So what I'm trying to say is that we will write, since we have 5 here, so we have 5 over 5. This 5 over 5 now should be added to 2/5. Why? Because 5 over 5 is equal to 1. So since we only borrow 1 from 3 earlier, so we will write 5 over 5. But why 5? Because we can add them right away. Remember, in terms of adding of similar fractions, we just copy the denominator. So we will write this one, or we will rewrite this one as 2. And for the fraction, 2 plus 5 is 7. And then copy the denominator. So we done nothing here, so we'll just copy it. So 1 and 3/5. Since minuend now is bigger compared to the subtrahend, we can now solve it right away. So we have 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. So we will just copy the denominator, which is 5. And then 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so we have now 3 and 2/5 minus 1 and 3/5 is equal to 1 and 4/5. There. Okay, so let's try this one. So we have 7 and 3/10 minus 5/10. The difference between of these two fractions is that this one is a mixed fraction while this one is just a proper fraction. But we will do the same thing as what we have done earlier. So we will arrange this one vertically. So we have 7 and 3/10 minus 5 over 10, 5/10. Okay, so as I have said, we will do the same thing. So we will check first the minuend, or the numerator of the minuend and the numerator of the subtrahend. Let's see which one is the bigger. So in this case, obviously we have greater value for the numerator of the subtrahend compared to the minuend. So it means that we have to do some borrowing. So 3 we're going to borrow from 7. So that makes 7 now as 6. So since the denominator here is 10, so we will write plus 10 here and another 10 here. We should have the same denominator so that we can just add them directly. So we will rewrite this one as 6. We have 6 here. And then 3 plus 10 is equal to 13. And then 10 here. And then since we have done nothing here, so we'll just copy it. So minus 5, 10. Okay. Since we are done arranging, so we can now proceed with subtraction. So we have 13 minus 5 is equal to 8. just copy the denominator because they are similar fractions. So we have 10. And then 6. So we don't have number here, so we can bring this down. 6. Okay. My question is that, can we simplify this one? The 8 and 10? Okay. So what will be the greatest common factor of this one? Yes, that is 2. So we will divide them by 2. So we will just copy 6 because 6 cannot be simplified. Okay, so we have 6. So we have now 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. This is wrong. So it should be fraction. So we have 4. And then 10 divided by 2, we have 5. So therefore, 7 and 3 10 minus 5 10 is equal to 6 and 4 5. There. So let's have the last one. So let's try 6 and 4 5 minus 4 and 3 5. Okay. So again, we were going to check which one is bigger, if the minuend or the subtrahend. So obviously here now, the minuend is bigger compared to the subtrahend. So therefore, there is no need of borrowing. So we can just solve this one right away. So the same thing, we'll just going to copy the denominator, which is 5, because they are similar fraction. And then 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. So there. Since this is already the simplest form, so the difference of 6 and 4 fifths and 4 and 3 fifths is equivalent to 2 and 1 fifth. There. So since we are done already discussing adding and subtracting similar fractions with whole number, so let's have an exercises. So let's see how far did you get. So now you try this. Perform the indicated operations. Simplify if possible. So just write your answers on the comment below. I really hope you enjoy or you have learned a lot. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.